What is going on, everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today we are going to be starting a new Bannerlord Let's Play for the full release. I know I'm a little bit behind on this one. I just had a couple of personal things going on the last week or so when the game released, so I'm just finally getting around to going ahead and filming a new Let's Play of the full release for you guys, so you can actually see all the new content they dropped into the game and all the glorious adventures we're going to be getting into in Calradia. So let's go ahead and start a new campaign.
For 500 years, the Calradian Empire dominated the continent. Its armies scattered foes before them. The strongholds of proud tribes crumbled beneath its engines of war. From the forests of the north to the wastes of the south, all was brought beneath the standard of their legions. Brutal as the conquest was, the wise agreed that it brought peace. The land, now untroubled by armies, grew rich. But empires, like men, grow old. Leaders lose a common cause. Corruption spreads. Old enemies learn the Empire's tricks and devise new ones of their own. Until one day, the bonds holding the Empire snap. Then comes the Civil War, pitting all against all. A time of hatred. A time of suffering. But also, even in the worst hours, a time of courage and defiance. As new leaders arise, from new places and new peoples, to turn back the tides of destruction and bring forth a new world. From the ashes of the old.
Alrighty. So, you see you still have the six factions, or cultures, I should say. Got the Flandians, and each faction has a different perk and kind of like debuff, as well as like an anti-perk, essentially. So it's like 2 or 3 positives and then 1 negative. So the Vlandians have 5% more renown from battles, 50% more income while serving as mercs, and 10% productions of bonuses, but their recruiting lords to armies cost 20% more influence. Sturgians are recruiting and upgrading infantry troops are 25 cheaper. Armies lose 20% less daily cohesion, 20% more relationship penalty from kingdom decisions. The Empire is 20% less garrison wages. Being in an army brings 25% more influence, but village hearths increase 20% less. The Azerai caravans are 30% cheaper to build, 10% less 10% less trade penalty, no speed penalty on the desert, which is pretty nice for fast moving. The Khuzaits are recruiting and upgrading mounted troops are 10% cheaper, 25% production bonus to horse, mule, cow, and sheep in villages owned by Khuzait rulers. But the negative is 20% less tax income from towns. So that's kind of more like later in mid-game stuff, if you like have your own fiefs and all that stuff. And then the Battanians are 50% less speed penalty and 15% sight range bonus in forests. Town owned by Battanian rulers have +1 production, but it's a 10% slower rate build for town projects and settlements. So they all kind of have like some goods and some downs. I am personally, I think I'm going to go with the Azurai this time just to get the cheaper caravans. Just because caravans are a great way to start making money in the early game once you can afford it. So we'll go ahead and try the Azurai. Oh, there we go. I was clicking the wrong button. So as you can see the character creation screen, there's tons of options. You can have a wide variety of people, different heights, sizes, hairstyles, all that good stuff. You can really create your own monster man, as they all do kind of look a little interesting. Some of them actually end up looking decent, but you can have some pretty funny looking characters. You can hit randomize all, or you can go into the specific one and hit randomize as well to kind of get around, or you can do the manual sliders yourself if you really want to get in depth with the character creation. But let's go and try to find a guy that doesn't look too weird. Got kind of the Viking hairstyle there, and you can kind of go from like kind of muscular to skinny. It can be like, you know, cut to bulked out. It can be super small all the way up to pretty damn tall, like essentially a giant. You get different voices as well, so you can change the pitch.
Let them advance!
And then you also have different voices as well that you can change the pitches on as well.
Pick your targets! Loose arrows! Side by side!
Let's go for a guy that's, let's say, like average height.
Loose arrows! Circle formation! Infantry!
We'll go for that one. And let's go for a guy that's pretty ripped. So let's go ahead and actually just change the hair color though. And let's get him a nice little beard. Get him a nice big old Viking beard. Big old bushy beards as well. Get a nice little glorious mustache, Fu Manchu. The Abe Lincoln. And then you also can have markings, so you can get like face tattoos, or you can have scars. And really create your own type of character here, so it's pretty sweet. We're just gonna leave him blank, and then this is the section where you choose essentially your family upbringing. So it also adds different pointers and perks and all that stuff to your actual character creation screen, which pretty much controls your vigor, control, endurance, cunning, social, and intelligence. So it'll once you click on one, you'll see the little green bar with the green arrow showing which parts are actually increasing. So it's just like different stuff. You can kinsfolk, warriors, merchants, farmers, Bodin, and urban back alley thugs, which really you can kind of see it shows a lot of different stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and do the merchants, because I'm going to try to start getting a lot of trade going up on that, so we can get some better trade skills going. We'll do a number. You can see trade's ticking up 2. We'll actually go ahead and do this one, get the athletics up a little. This one I'll do for a horse upgrade. Let's do lead a caravan. Or actually invest some money in a workshop. We'll drive them off with arrows, get a little bit of a bow increase. And we'll change our character's name. So yeah, and then like another daily wages of troops in the party are increased by 5%. So you are going to be spending a little bit more on troops, which does kind of suck. I don't remember seeing that one, unfortunately. But let's go ahead and name our guy. And you can randomize names as well. Let's go with Thakir. So this will be your starting equipment here. It varies on the different cultures. So if you have Vlandians, it'll be more like Norman style. Britannians will be more Celtic style. Sturgians would obviously be Nordic, Viking type. Imperial are more Romanesque styles, and then the Azerite obviously more Middle Eastern style armor as well. So let's go ahead and make sure the deaths are realistic and enable battle deaths for all heroes. And I'll make sure to upgrade the clan members myself. And we'll just leave all that stuff as is for now. So let's dive into...
Brother, it's been 3 days now we've been tracking those bastards. I think we're getting close. We need to think about what happens when we catch them. How are we going to rescue our brother and sister? Are we up for a fight? This looks like an old training field for the legions. Perhaps we can spare some time and brush up on our skills. The practice will come in handy when we catch up with the raiders.
So, if you've played the game before, you can do We Have No Time to Lose. You can skip the tutorial, or if this is your first time, I would recommend I'm going to run through the tutorial. It's super helpful. There's a infantry kind of combat section here where you grab sword and shield, sword. You train with the trainer, and then there's an advanced section here where you are essentially supposed to fight the trainer. So here I'll kind of just give you guys a quick rundown of this. So it'll show you like how to defend, where to put your mouse, or if you're playing on console, it'll show you kind of how the different attacks. So instead of always attacking from the same way, you can learn how to like block effectively. If you put your sword out, you do still kind of block it. But it'll really help with like specifics, which will help in like certain attacks. So like stabbing and high stances help in like close quarter combat. So when you're doing like sieges, and then this one will teach you how to do it with a spear. You fight a rookie and a veteran trainer. So it's essentially just kind of a quick fight to the knockout. Then you can also shield bash as well, and kick. And the AI is pretty actually decent at predicting your attacks. So sometimes you gotta mix it up with shield bashes to kind of stun them, and especially if you're using a spear, you got to be real particular on your hits, just because spears in close quarters are a little bit harder to do. So essentially it's for the sword and shield. It's the same gist here. Defeat the trainer. and then defeat the veteran trainer. It just kind of really gets you comfortable with the controls. And then you can run through all of it if you want, or you don't have to. It just really gets you comfortable, like I was saying. And then there's also horseback, where you learn spear, bow, and sword and shield on horseback as well. As you can see, there's the horse training section over there. And it just kind of runs you through a little obstacle course where you're supposed to knock pots with the sword and the spear. And then the bow is just kind of big old targets. And boom, like that, you're done with the infantry, essentially, training. So if you go left, you'll go into the cavalry training section, and if you go right, you'll go into the archery training section as well. So it'll kind of show you bows, crossbows, javelins. So you would just run up, same thing as the infantry, grab the stuff, go up to the trainer. Then I have some glowing pots over here for you to hit. Then you gotta remember with like the javelins and the crossbow, you gotta aim a tad high. Just because it will drop, and it will let you hit that target. So it's kind of like for these distance ones, you gotta aim a little high. I think I aimed a little too high on that one. Nope. And then it's the same thing if you, there's two over here. The longer you hold it, the less accurate your javelin will get as well. So as you can see, like the windmill will block that javelin if you're trying to throw it at a certain time. And then if you hold it for too long, also the accuracy will decrease pretty drastically. And then kind of just come over, grab the crossbow, and then just kind of same thing. Crossbow, you have to manually reload it yourself, so make sure after every shot you hit the fire button again, or else it'll just kind of sit there and it will never reload. And then you can also zoom in if you're on mouse and keyboard with shift. I think with controller it's left trigger, if I recall. And like I said, the crossbow even drops a little bit as well. The bow is definitely more accurate, or I'm just better with the bow. I've always been pretty bad with these crossbows. There you go. That's the crossbow one. And then for the bow and arrow, it's just kind of your typical bow and arrow gameplay. As you can see on those ones, you can aim right at the center. And it drops a little bit, but not as bad. At least at close range. So farther ones like those, you want to aim maybe at the tip of the base. Or the tip of the spout. And the longer you hold the bow, it'll decrease your aiming as well, but make sure you get a full draw on it so you can actually get a full shot on it. Because if you do kind of like a half draw like this, it won't really go exactly where you want it to. So that's going to be your pretty much bow training, so your range training, then your horse training will be in here, which like I said, you just run a little course. Whenever you're done, you can leave the training field or run up to your brother and say, I'm ready to go, or I'm not ready yet if you want to keep training. And you can always come back and like better your scores and stuff, which is kind of fun to do if you get a little bored. Before we do anything else, we are low on food. There's a village north of here where we can buy provisions and find some help. You're a better rider than I am, so I'll let you lead that way. So, tutorial again, it will give you kind of a little how to go around everywhere. So, for the initial, it wants you to just kind of like show you how settlements work.
I guess. So, we need food, and after that, maybe some men to come with us. The head man here can probably help us. Let's try to find him.
Alright, so you get kind of dropped off in this village. If you hold Alt, it'll show you important figures in the village. Blue is quests that you can do. Yellow exclamation points are campaign quests or storyline quests.
I'm Orthos, head man of this village. What brings you here?
We need help. Some raiders have taken our younger brother and sister captive. We think they may have passed this way.
People too. Sorry to hear that. Those bastards have done a bit of killing and looting in these parts as well. We think they've gone north. I reckon there are a few folk around here who'll join you in going after them if you'll pay for their gear. Once you've made your preparations, come and talk to me again. I may have a task for you if you're going after the raiders.
So the same thing, just hold down tab if you're on keyboard to kind of back out of a village, town, and stuff like that. So we're going to go under the byproducts. We're definitely going to need the grain, and then I would recommend buying the sheep because at an early level. And then you can individually click troops if you're trying to buy like just horsemen, archers, all that, or if you just want to like build up massive armies, just go ahead and hit that recruit all button and it'll go ahead and show you 8 out of 20. So you can see we're 2 out of 20 right now, and then recruit all will be the 6, which will bring you up to that 8. So 20 will be the max amount of troops you can carry, and that'll show you the cost of how much they will be for you. And it'll also show you how much decrease in speed. Since they're mounted, it's not going to be that much. We have finished our preparations. Let's talk to the headsman again. He said he may have a task for us. We could use his friendship. So, you can, once you talk to a person in the take a walk around, you can do talk or visit features, which are really nice. They'll bring you right to them.
Now, about that matter I mentioned earlier. There's this wandering doctor who comes through it from time to time. Name of Tactius. Treats people for free. We're fond of him. Well, we last saw him a few days ago. He was carrying some sort of chest, which he was very mysterious about. He was on some sort of quest, he said, though wouldn't tell us more. He set off on the road just a few hours before the raiders came through here. Well, he's not really a worldly type, just the kind of fellow who'd stumble into a trap and let himself be captured. We're worried about him. If you can keep an eye out for him, this Tactius, we'd be very grateful. Maybe if he's alive and well, he'll tell you a little more about his quest.
Alright, so we got another quest here. Which if you go into your journal, so locate and rescue traveler. So we need to look around the village to find parties, so defeated parties. So essentially these 3 raider parties right here are what we need. But the reason I was telling you guys to go ahead and get sheep is in the early game, if you get sheep, you can go ahead and slaughter them, and it'll give you hides and meat. So, the meat will help, you know, your party, and the more type of food you have, food variety, will give you more morale. And then hides you can actually sell for some pretty good money at certain towns and stuff. So it really it's really a good money maker for you, especially when you can find like sheep super cheap. Like this village sells sheep, these guys sell pigs, sheep, horses, grain. Not sure what those ones are. I'm still trying to figure that one out. Grapes. So it's really like you can get some stuff as well, which is nice. So as you can see, like I kind of on this one, if you go ahead and click a raider party and there's another raider or party that's kind of like allied or in the same faction as them, they will actually come and join the fight as well. So as you can see, we're outnumbered 8 to 12, but since they are like raiders, pretty much like looters, they're pretty easy to take on. So we're gonna go ahead and attack. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually go ahead and we're going to have our guys charge in with us as well, since I don't have a bow. Normally this is I would recommend trying to take these guys on solo for a little, just to get that experience. But since we are a little outnumbered and we don't have a bow, we got to get nice up and close personal with these guys, which they're not terrible, so you want to just kind of run around them and take out like little stragglers like these guys. Yeah, I completely missed. There you go, we got a kill. And the faster you go in at them, the more damage it'll actually add in. So the slower you go, you'll get less speed bonus. But if you're going like full speed, you'll get a little bit of a speed bonus. And then obviously the faster horse you get, the more speed bonus you get, as well as once you get like better horse armor. So if you get like chainmail or like cataphract type armor, it'll add an additional damage bonus onto it. So you can literally just like run into a line of enemy troops and like knock them down. Have like 0 damage done to you, but you can just do a crap ton to them, which is pretty fun to actually do. Especially when you get to the lance usage, you just kind of have the lance go down like you're doing an old cavalry charge, and you can just plow through the enemy troops, which is a lot of fun. And then different areas of hit points have better damage, so like head and neck do a lot more than, say, the arms or the leg will. So it's always kind of nice to try to aim for the head, kind of like that one. And I think that's all of them. Yep, awesome. So as you can see, we lost no guys. We killed 4 of theirs, and then we wounded 8. So the cracked shield is a wounded, the dead Red Skull is killed. The flag obviously is routed. So prisoners, we're not going to worry about prisoners, but we did get 2 more headsman's troops. So if you ever get any guys up here, you can add more troops into your party, which is really nice. And then you also get some gear after each battle. So we get some arm wraps, which we don't have before, and then some cavalier boots, which are better than the ones that we had. So we're getting a little bit of armor upgrades here, and let's go ahead and get this last party. So you can slow the speeds to normal speed, which is 2, or the fast forward, which is 3. Fast forward is really nice if you need to travel like long distances or kind of speed stuff up. 2 is kind of more like tactical usage. So if you're in like a war with a faction and you're in enemy territory, you don't want to just kind of like run around without really paying attention, because that's how you can get ambushed really easily, or not ambushed, but come upon by an enemy host if you don't want to. And if you double tap your move forward button on a horse, it actually gives you a little bit of a so then on cavalry you can use your spear or sword, really kind of what you want to use best for you. But yeah, this is what I was saying. If you just move forward, this will be your normal speed forward. And then if you double tap your forward, it'll give you a little bit more of a quicker kind of charge bonus. And then same thing with the slowdown. If you just press the regular slowdown, you'll come to a gradual stop. If you double press the backwards, you'll kind of do a horse slide and really get the horse to stop quickly. So it's nice for like tight corners and like village fights or in tournaments. So we got some more gear here, it looks like. Rescue your severed prisoners that the raider had been dragging along. They looked parched and exhausted. You give them a bit of water and bread. After a short while, one of the stragglers comes to his feet and comes over to you.
I don't know who you are. but I'm in your debt. These brigands would have marched us to our deaths. My name's Tactios. I'm a doctor by trade. I was on, well, a bit of a quest, but I'm now thinking I'm not really made for this kind of thing.
Clearly.
I was with a caravan, and they just came out of the brush. We were surrounded and outnumbered, so we gave up. I figured they'd keep us alive, if just for the ransom. But then they started flogging us along at top speed, without any water, and I was just about ready to drop. I could feel the signs of heat stroke creeping up, and I told them, but they just flogged me more. If your group hadn't come along, maybe I have a way to thank you properly.
Looking for 2 children captured by the raiders. Can you tell us anything?
I'm afraid I haven't seen any children, but after our caravan was attacked, the chief of the raiders, the one they call Radagos, took and rode off with our more valuable belongings, including a chest that I had. He seemed to be controlling more than one band around this area. If this lot has your kin, then I think he'd be the one to know. And since I have nothing of value left to repay your help, I'll tell you this. If you do catch up with and defeat that ruffian, you may be able to recover my chest. It contains a valuable ornament, which I was told could be of great value if you knew where to sell it.
Treasure hunt.
I was trying to find out more about it, but, as I say, I've had all my urge for travelling flogged out of me. Right now, I don't think I'd venture more than 20 paces from a well as long as I live. It doesn't look like much, and I suspect this lot will give it away for a few coins. But I got it from a mercenary whom I treated once, and he swore it was related to Neretz's folly. I don't know what that means, except that Neretes was of course the emperor who died in battle some years back. Maybe you could find out its true value. Thanks for saving me again. I hope our paths will cross again.
So the old emperor was the emperor before the empire split into 3 factions. So over here we have I believe it's the Southern Empire, the Western Empire, and the Northern Empire in kind of the light purple, the Western Empire in kind of the weirdish dark purple, and then the Southern Empire in like the dark purple over here. And then over to the east we have the Khuzaits, north we have the Sturgians, we have the Britannians, kind of central-ish. Then on the west coast we have the Vlandians, and then in the south we obviously have the Ezrai. So we need to go ahead and move up to the hideout. And as you can see as well, you did get some level up, so I did get a level up in trade. That was due to the choices I chose in character creation. So let's get a decrease in sell penalty for equipment, since we get a lot of equipment, more so than trade goods in the beginning part, so you like weapons, gear, all that stuff from bandits. So go ahead and click that, and then you also get focus points, so it can teach you like different perks once you actually get up to that rating for the abilities. So I can actually learn these 2 once I hit that amount for the perk training. And then once I get to those, if I don't give it another focus point, I won't be able to get those perks until I change it. Your brother starts off with a lot of options. So we'll go ahead and give him kind of just a general little upgrade. And then kind of you can choose where his focus points go. As you can see, he's really good steward. He's got great athletics, good riding. And then you obviously have a bunch of perks you can choose for him. So the perks, it's kind of just really how you want your player or your party members to increase. So he has a mace. So we'll go ahead and give him to be blunt. And then each perk, I forgot to mention, gives you a personal increase and then a party increase. So, like, if you set these guys to, like, Quartermaster or the Scout in your party role, that's where the bottom one will come into effect. So, it really, really pays to really read through them and decide who you want to be, like your surgeon, your scout, your quartermaster, because those perks really come into effect and really help out as well for like end game, middle game, just kind of keeping rather prices down, or if he's a caravan, all that good stuff. Alrighty. So now that we kind of got ahead and got him all set up, once we get after this mission, we will show you the ability to set party roles. So let's go ahead and take my troops with me. So you do F1, and then you have a bunch of different command sections. You can do charge, engage, follow me, and hold still. So go ahead and take that guy down. So usually for raids, you have to wait till nightfall, but since this one is the tutorial, it kind of lets you go in during whenever, which I do wish it stayed that way. I wish you could do daytime night raids. So as you can see, did pretty bad on that blocking there. Lost a quarter of a health. So you need to just be a little bit more careful. And then, like I said, getting those headshots and those head hits really add into that damage, so... And then the yellow bar above your health is your shield health bar. So once that actually goes down to 0, your shield will be broken. And once that's done, you can either pick up an enemy shield or just kind of fight with the one-handed sword as just the sword. Oh. Alright. So, since my health's a little low, let's see what this guy wants.
So, who's this that comes through my place of business, killing my employees?
We heard you took our little brother and sister. Where are they?
Good heaven. I need a better description than that. My men have harvested dozens of little brats in this region. Quite good hunting grounds. Already sent most of them off to a slave market, I know, though. Since your hunt for your kin is fruitless, how about you clear off and save your own lives? Either that, or I'll force you to lick up all the blood you've spilled here with your tongues. Or you and I could settle this one-on-one.
So you got two options. Very well, I'll duel you, which will do a 1v1. Neither truce will do anything in that situation. And then you have the option of I don't duel slavers, men attack. I'm going to do the I don't duel slavers one just because my health is a little low. And it's like 10 of us versus 3 of them. So. Awesome. So it looks like I got 1 troop wounded, which was, of course, my brother. And we'll snag some of those prisoners now. Got some more gear as well. So just a little bit better gloves.
Well, I recognize defeat when I see it. If I'm gonna be your captive, let me introduce myself. I'm Radagos.
What a gentleman.
You haven't cut my throat yet, which was a wise move. I'm sure I can find a way to be worth more to you alive than dead.
You better help us get our brother and sister back or you'll swing from a tree.
Ah, you'll need my help, all right. If you want to get them back. Alive, that is. See, my boys have some pretty specific instructions about what to do if there's a rescue attempt. Shall we get on the road? Remember, if I drop dead of exhaustion or drown in some river, that's it for your little dears. I don't expect a cozy palanquin now, but you best not make it too hard a trip for me.
Alright, so you come across a chest with an old piece of bronze in it. It's so battered and corroded that it could have been anything from a cup to a crown. This must be the chest Tactius mentioned to you that had something to do with Nezrit's folly.
I was hoping to find more treasure here, but I think business wasn't going too well for Radagos and his gang. I found this strange-looking metal piece, though. It doesn't look too valuable, but it could be the artifact Tactius was talking about. Maybe we can sell it to one of the noble clans for a hefty price.
Alright then, let's go on the road.
I have a better idea. We would have a better chance if we split up now. I'll take Radagos and go find the slaver market and look for a way to free the children. However, we must be careful not to endanger their lives, and it could be better to just buy them. We need to have our purses full for that, though. I'll need to take these men with us. Radagos is a slippery one. I don't want him getting away.
So you want me to raise the money to ransom the little ones?
Indeed. You'll have to find a way to do that. Maybe this bronze thing can help. Tacteo said it could be worth a fortune to the right person, if you manage not to get killed. If he's telling the truth, you must be careful. Never reveal that you have it, but try to understand its value and how it can be sold. One more thing. When you are talking to nobles and other people of importance, make sure you present yourself as someone from a distant but distinguished family. You can use our family name if you like, or make up a new one. You will have a better chance of obtaining an audience with nobles, and it'll be easier for me to find you by asking around.
Alright, so we will be Clan Faye.
Get on the road now. Once I locate the little...
And so this is your banner sigil customization. So you got stuff from eagles to hawks, chicken maybe, birds, dragons, horses, deers, lions, bears, snakes, fish, and then like kind of like traditional medieval style banners as well. And then you got like some Celtic designs, some Crusade style designs. You got some pretty cool options here. So for ours, I think I actually might stick with the stag design on this gameplay. We could rather be... go with this one. Then you can change the size of the sigil from really small to really large. The larger it is, depending on certain shields, it won't actually fit. And then you can go ahead and change your background color, which also changes the color of your armor. So you can really be kind of picky if you want. And then you can change the sigil color as well. But you can also flip those two around and kind of just have other background colors as well. I think I'm going to go with brown and the white stag. So the tutorial's over. You're now free to explore Calradia. So, on the first day of summer, 1084, you found the artifact which Tactius mentioned. So, from here, you can roam anywhere. You can go ahead and start recruiting troops, which I recommend at least getting like 5 to 10 to start, just to kind of keep you a little bit safe. So we'll go ahead and get all 6 of those guys. And then any town with a blue quest will give you a little quest. So deliver the herd to Jamalis. See if we're... Alright, so we got our first quest. We need to go ahead and deliver the herd all the way over here. So it's not too far. As you can see, your speed will go down with herds. And if you have infantry and you don't have extra horses, it'll be slower as well. But if you get extra horses in your party, the infantry will actually mount them when traveling, so you can actually run a little faster. So the larger the parties you are, can be slower, or if you have cavalry or tons of horses for your infantry, it's actually, you can still move pretty dang quick with a large host of armies, which is pretty awesome. So this is just kind of a quick, easy quest to show you guys. It's a nice way to make money in the early game, as well as kind of fighting looters. I was going to grab that party, but I think that... so we'll go ahead and get these looters over here, if I can catch up to them. That's a lot of looters. Let's go ahead and get these guys.
Oh, we got no quarrel with you.
And then you can rather send your troops in, which is essentially like an auto-resolve, or you can do attack. Usually in the first type of part, I'll always do the attack just to get that XP. But once you have like larger armies and you're kind of in wars and you're constantly fighting, sometimes doing an auto-resolve is kind of really convenient, just to get it done and over with. So let's go ahead and get those infantry charging in, so by the time they get there, I'll hopefully have battered them down a little bit. And the looters do have stones, which don't do a ton of damage, but when you get hit by a bunch of them, they kind of knock you in a little, and then gotta be careful with their pole arms, which are essentially just farm tools, but the looters will do some decent damage to your beginning troops, so you gotta be a little careful on that. Alright, so there we go. So you can see your recruits start off with literally just civilian items. That guy's got a farming tool, that guy's got a pitchfork, 2 of them have swords. So it really kind of depends. Looks like I lost 1 troop. And then that's how you gain morale, as well as increased renown. And renown is what will bring up your clan tier. So the higher clan tier, you can be mercenaries, you can be lords, increases your companion size, party size, the amount of workshops and caravans you can have. And then in the party section, this is where you can add members to different roles. But since I don't have anybody on my essentially companions, I don't have anything to do. So we have 2 main quests at the moment. So we need to essentially explore Calridia and ask nobles the importance of the artifact. So you need to talk to 10 of them throughout the area, and they'll have luckily they'll have the little yellow exclamation point by them if they're the ones you need to talk to, so it's real easy to find. And the other one is establish a clan. So you need 2,000 dinars, you need a party size of 20, a renown of 50, which is real easy to get to, and then 1 companion hired. So I'll show you guys some more. Let's go ahead and finish up this quest and see if there's the guy right here that I need to talk to you about the quest
Forgive me
here.
what may seem to be an abundance of caution, but please keep your distance. Just beyond sword length is fine. So, who might you be?
I am Fakir. Who are you? Always looking for good fighters. If you ask me, I suspect you'll take that good care of my men. So, what is Nezret's Folly? Well, that's what some people call the Great Battle of Penderek in the year 1077. Emperor Nezrites led an army accompanied by Khuzaits and Asari to fight a coalition of Sergian, Battanians, and Vlandians. It was a disaster for him. He died in it, but the victors didn't fare much better. And once you get that part done, you can ask him, is there anything else you can tell about the battle? Yes, we will never forget that day, the day we learned that the old men who claimed that they had the right to rule us were dubering incompetence. I was with the vanguard. Nezrites apparently knew that the Battanians had planned an ambush. The Khuzaits scouts had told him, but he never bothered to inform us. So up we went along a lovely wooded stream until the Battanian arrows started whooshing in from all sides. We had our shields, but you can only point them in one direction at once, so we started to drop one by one until the Battanian Phalanxmen came screaming out of the trees. Ordinarily they'd be very vulnerable to archers, but well, old Nezrites hadn't thought to send any along with us, so they came upon us chopping and slashing as we fought until we broke. I ran too, and any man who tells you he wouldn't in those circumstances is a liar. When I was sitting in the cold woods later that night, hiding along with other fugitives, listening to the barbarians whoop and holler as they chop off heads as trophies, I promised that no Calridian soldier should again be led into battle by an emperor who knows so little of war. So, as you can see, that kind of just goes ahead and gives me the first stage of this quest here. So, it'll tell you who you've talked to, and now I just need to talk to 9 of them. So, let's go ahead in here and finish up the quest. So, these guys with the blue arrow and these like kind of pointers around them, not like that one, will be quests that you are currently already on. So, deliver the herd to Jalmar's. Go ahead and talk to the guy.
Who do we have here? Would you...
And then you go pretty much do about the task for whoever gave you. And then, yes, sir, a mutual friend said he would sell, expect 10 hogs. So you had the 10 hogs in your inventory, and then you just go ahead and tell him that you brought them to him, and then boom, quest is done there. Trade, super simple. If you want to keep stuff, I usually recommend like locking food items just so you don't always sell off food really quickly. And then you'll just pretty much do trade all, or if you want to sell individual ones, you can do that. It's like that, for an example, you can sell them all like that. It does take a little bit more time, but it's a way to do it if you want. And then you go to the tavern district, which is where you can ransom prisoners. You can ransom them all for, like, it'll show you how much. And then you can also choose how many prisoners specifically you want to be ransomed if you have a bunch, if you don't want to sell like lords. And then taverns are also where you can learn, or not learn, but find companions. So it doesn't look like there is a tournament at the moment. Tournaments are a great way to get renown and gold, as well as some pretty high tier equipment early on. They'll take place at any of the main cities. So you can rather travel around to each city, hoping to find a tournament. Go to the arena. There is none. Another way you can do is you can go ahead and enter into the tournament and talk to the tournament master. And then essentially he will tell you the kind of the history of the tournaments, how it started and what it is now. And then you can also ask, you can do practice fights, which you can, it's kind of like mini tournaments essentially. It's open, it's an open brawl. It's you versus, I think, like 50 or something NPCs. So pretty much just survive to the end. You get X amount of dinar per kill, and if you survive the end, you get I think you get a bonus. And then also they can help you reset skills as well. And then once you talk to them, you can also ask about any tournaments in nearby towns. He says, well, there's one starting up at Ortrissa, and then another one at Senapa. So if you want to go ahead and find those tournaments, you would just essentially scroll out, and it would be at that town there and that town there. So that is how you can do tournaments. But you can also recruit troops in main cities as well. Sometimes they'll have better units. And then certain bandits, so like mountain bandits, have better armor. Forest bandits have bows. These guys usually have javelins. And then steppe bandits are sometimes on horseback and can be a little bit of a challenge at an early level. And then in the desert, they have the desert bandits. I can't remember exactly what they're called. They're pretty easy to take care of, to be honest. And then in the north, you have the sea raiders as well, which are kind of just like essentially Viking raiders. And then, as you can see, for this 5 arrow, that means 5 troops are ready to upgrade. So you can rather go ahead and upgrade them this way, or you can do this one, and it'll show you upgrade cost, the amount that you have upgradable out of how many you have in total. And then you can do your 2 different trees. So if you go the infantryman, obviously it'll go an infantry route. If you go archer, it'll go the archer route. Early on, having archers is pretty useful, in my opinion. So I'll kind of show you. As you can see, these guys have a lot better armor. They got javelins.
Of the mountains, and we would like a moment of your time.
But yeah, having archers, in my opinion, is really, really helpful, especially in early game. As you can see, these guys have jabs that they're about to start chucking. I'm trying to keep them away from my troops. just because their jabs will decimate my crappy infantry. And the more damage I can get on them before they get. Awesome. So as you can see, we got one troop wounded, so I didn't lose any technically. As you can see, we gained 2.4 renown and 1.7 morale. The higher morale, the better. As you can see, I got 5 more guys upgraded, so let's go ahead and upgrade some for infantry as well. And then also, as I was saying, you get better gear loot from better enemies. So we got some new boots, it looks like. We got some arm wraps, because it looks like I lost the ones that I had. We got some jabs, so now I have a throwing weapon. So it gives us some gear, nothing like super great, but better than some stuff that we had, and we got jabs as well, so that is nice to have. Nice to have a throwing weapon at least. So that's kind of the first little initial kind of get started and everything. So I will see you guys in the next episode. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.